Shalom, back again. Bishim Shai Bishim Kakadash, the one is the elders and apostle of Great Millstone. This is part 2. Part 2, yeah. So this is more going to be about how the Israelites originally look like, man. Right? Well, then I'm going to make a video where, after this video, I'm going to make a video where you're going to have to acknowledge the scriptures concerning Israelites that are scattered, man. Israelites that are scattered in different places, born in different places, so therefore there's obviously going to be a high chance, a high possibility that they may not look like the typical Israelite, man, because they've been scattered, you know. And Jakes, us Israelites, we like to spread our seed in all different nations, man. King Solomon had multiple concubines, man. 700 concubines, 300 wives or something like that. 1,000 women from different nations, man. But anyways, this is showing you how the Israelites look like, man. And still look like, for the most part. This is Exodus 4 on Moses, verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, Put now thy hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, you know, his pocket or in his side, covered, like a pocket type area, whatever. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. So when Moses took out his hand, it became leprous as snow. Snow is identifying the color, man, white. His hand came out white. Verse 7, and he said, Put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. So what does that mean then? What does that mean? I got this. Just typed in Moses was black, and it reads, Moses was born in Africa, the land of Ham. You know, he was born with the Egyptians, right? But he's a Hebrew Israelite, raised by Africans, trained in African wisdom, and was mistaken for a descendant of Ham, which I'm going to get later on. The father of all black Africans, it says there. Well, yeah, when you read the Compact Dictionary, it makes a distinction, man, between the so-called Negroes, which are Israelites, and so-called black people in Africa, man, the Hamites. The Hebrews are the so-called Negroes, and the Africans, the other dark nations, are Hamites, man. And yet, he's still depicted as white in the vast majority of pictures that we see. Unfortunately, this lie has prevailed for centuries, you see, because they make him look like a white man. So yeah, as you can see there, man. I'll read it again. Exodus 4, verse 7. And he said, Put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. So the question is, what was his other flesh? Because if the miracle was that his hand turned snow white, yeah, then that means he's originally not white. He's originally not as white as snow. He has to be the opposite. He has to be a man of color. It wouldn't make sense if you're already white to turn your hand to white. That's not a miracle. It wouldn't make sense if you're already so-called black and you turn your hand so-called black. It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't be a miracle. But it would be a miracle if you was something else and you changed to something else. Yeah? In this case, Moses was a so-called black man, and the Lord showed a miracle, a sign, when he put his hand back, when he put his hand out, his hand turned white. So it is a miracle. Yeah? Because you're a so-called black man and your hand is white. People are going to, if someone saw that, say, wow, Doesn't make sense. Wow, like, what's that? Then when he put his hand back in, his hand went back to normal. As you can see there, it's got Numbers 12 and 10. And behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron, that's his sister. And Aaron looked upon Mary, and behold, she was leprous. See? She turned white. Meaning what? Discoloration. Put in leprous skin. Right? And you can go to the law of leprosy in Leviticus 13, I believe. And it shows you, having so-called white skin and yellow blonde hair is a curse. But anyways, the first noticeable sign of leprosy is often the development of pale or pink colored patches of skin. So raw flesh. What people have raw flesh. So-called Caucasians, man. When you hear of pale, who is it usually referred to? So-called Caucasians. Yeah. When you hear of pink, who is it usually associated with? So-called Caucasians. Colored patches of skin that may be insensitive to temperature or pain. Patches of discolored skin. Right? So the skin is losing its color. Right? So what is Jake called, especially from slavery days? We're called colored people. So that means they're what? Discolored people. Right? So-called Caucasian white people. Right? Now we have Jakes that are amongst them. We have Israelites that are amongst them that look like so-called white people as well. Based on the curses. Based on us Israelites spreading seed amongst them. Right? And that's in the next video I'm going to do concerning the spirit. But originally, we are a people of color, man. Melanated people. Patches of discolored skin are sometimes accompanied or preceded by nerve problems, including numbness or tenderness in the hands or feet. So yeah, let me go Exodus 2 and verse 16. This is when the prince of Egypt, Moses, fled from Egypt because he slew a man that was whipping one of the Hebrew Israelites, his brethren. Let me go straight to the point. And when he fled, he met some ladies. And this is what happened. Exodus 2:16. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. So he was being a gentleman to the ladies, helping them water their flock. And when they came to Reuel, their father, he said, How is it that ye are come so soon today? So when the daughters went back after Moses helped them, the dad was like, Wow, man, you ladies came back so quickly, man, so early. What's going on? Verse 19. And they said, An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock. So the ladies mistaken Moses for an Egyptian, right? When he's an Israelite. Israelite. So, the Hebrew Israelites looked like the people of the land of Ham, man. In terms of skin color, may have woolly hair, but we're not the same people. We're a different race. They're heathens. See? So you can't get too caught up when it comes to skin color, man. It's not about a skin thing. This is a race thing, right? And you can have Israelites, like I mentioned before, you can have Israelites that don't look like the typical Israelites. So you got to be careful. I'm going to make another video concerning the spirit, mannerisms, characteristics of Israelites that don't look like the typical Israelites. This is Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourneth, Judah, the Jews, mourneth, and the gates, the tribe of Judah mourneth, and the gates whereof languish, they are black unto the ground, they are black unto the ground. And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up, look into the black, it should be a Kodah. Yep, Kodah. Be dark, to be dark, darken, to mourn, to grow dark, blackish. And when you go to Strong's definition, it says to be ashy, and it says after that dark colored, right? Hebrews 7:14. Did you know that Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus Christ, was from the tribe of Judah? And we just read in Jeremiah 14:2, Judah is dark skin. For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah. See, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. That's Hebrews 7:14. Yeah, and this is Acts 21 on Apostle Paul. He's a Hebrew Israelite. When you read Romans 11. He said he's a Hebrew Israelite, a Benjamite, tribe of Benjamin. Acts 21:37. And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak to thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? So the chief captain was surprised. Wow. Paul, you can speak Greek? You can speak that language? Then he says, verse 38, Are not thou that Egyptian? So he mistaked him for Egyptian, which be 4 these days made us in uproar, and lead us out of the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers. Right? But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, a citizen of no mean city. And I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto people. And when he had given him silence, Paul stood on the stairs and beckoned with the hand unto the people. And when there was made a great silence, he spake unto them in the Hebrew tongue, saying. So he spoke Greek and he spoke Hebrew. Yeah. And he was mistaken for Egyptian, even though he was a Hebrew Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin. A descendant of Abraham. Revelations 1:13, on the appearance of the Lord, who the world calls Jesus Christ. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. So the hairs, on his head, right? His moustache, his chin hairs, his beard, sideburns, whatever. His hairs were white like snow, like wool, right? So he had white hair, and it was like wool, puffy hair, afro, And which race of people have afro type, woolly hair? So-called Negroes, and even Latinos, man. Afro-Latinos. Yeah. Verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass. Brass is brown, as if they burned in a furnace. Right? You put anything in a fire, it becomes darker. It's common sense. And his voice as the sound of many waters, man. Strong and powerful voice, echoing. But yeah, man, that's it on that, man. yeah, on how the Israelites look, yeah, for the most part. But however, you got Israelites are scattered, man. And Israelites are gonna look like different types of people, different tribes, of different races, man. And that's when the spirit comes in, right? That's when the spirit comes in, and even in the physical level, you can't get caught up, because a lot of you Jakes, you Negro only Jakes, you got Hamites, man. There's Hamites that look just like Jakes, Israelites, but they're not Israelites. You see? This is why it's not a carnal thing, man. It's not a carnal thing, man. You got people in India, the land of India. You got Israelites scattered there too, all over the world. But in general, you got people in India that are colored as well, dark skin as well. That's not a definite sign that they're Israelites. No, you can't go by skin color. So you got to be careful. But anyways, man, with that, this is the second part. Say shalom.
Don't you dare touch me! Stand back! No! No!
Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen.